Fire again this week, and it's not for the traffic jam on the George Washington Bridge. Federal officials are now investigating whether or not the governor misused Superstorm Sandy relief funds to produce tourism ads starring his own family. Now, Governor Christie's office responded to the probe, saying that the Obama administration, in fact, they reviewed and approved the ads. So what, if impact will any of these investigations have on Governor Christie and his potential 2016 presidential run? Joining us now, author, columnist David Limbaugh, an attorney, and also with us, Fox News political analyst Kirsten Powers. Welcome, both of you.
Good to be here.
Hey, Sean.
Kirsten, does this mean anything to you?
The investigation about the funds?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, if he misused funds, that would be a terrible thing. We don't know enough about it at this point. It's just really been leaked. This, investigation's going on.
Well, my recollection is that New York and New Jersey, they spent $60 billion or had $60 billion in relief funds. He got the approval of the administration, as his office pointed out today, and they were able to prove today. So the question is, Here's Chris Christie, love for being bipartisan. Where's the reciprocity for Chris Christie? Where's Obama saying, that he has confidence and faith in his pal, Governor Christie? It doesn't seem like any Democrats that, are so fond of saying that he's the one moderate Republican that they can get along with. They don't seem to be coming to his aid. Why is that?
Well, I would count myself as a person who is in that camp of thinking that he's a moderate governor, but that doesn't excuse what has happened on his watch in terms of this bridge closure and the fact that he had very senior people who work for him doing this. He says he didn't know anything about it, but these are senior people working for him. Yeah. So I don't know how it doesn't reflect badly on him. Well,
it's interesting, David, because you got now Democrats threatening to impeach Christie if, in fact, there's any type of smoking gun evidence that comes up in this case. You got New Jersey drivers now suing him. But the question is, where's the president, his best friend, just before the election with Governor Mitt Romney, and he gets the big bear hug? Where are any of these Democrats that he reached out to during all these years that he's gotten so much credit for?
Memo to establishment GOP. Democrats are not your friends, as you need to understand that. There's a lot of give and no take. But I agree with Kirsten here. I will not defend Christie on this matter. One thing that bothers me more than anything is abuses of government power. And while I don't think Christie was directly involved, he did surround himself with a type of people whose character led to this. So I will not defend him, and I will not be inconsistent about that. But that being said, there ought to be an outrage and an outcry from the rest of us about the double standard in the mainstream media. It's one thing what Christie has done on a much smaller scale than the millions of things Obama has done wrong, the countless abuses of power he's engaged in, and the media doesn't even so much as ask a question. What did you know and when did you know it about Fast and Furious? What did you know and when did you know it about the IRS scandal, about Solyndra going bankrupt, which Obama knew before, while he was trying to get more funds for it? And there's countless scandals all the way through that the media has deliberately suppressed to help Obama politically and to shield him from accountability.
Well, the one thing you could say about Christie is that he put his neck on the line. He left no wiggle room. He fired people. He took the heat and answered the questions. And when you compare it, as you said, to Fast and Furious, IRS, the NSA scandal, any of these, I have not seen the same level of forthrightness by the administration, nor has anyone been held accountable, Kirsten. I think that's a legitimate comparison.
Well, first of all, you're lumping a bunch of things together that don't have anything to do with each other and that have been treated radically differently.
They didn't have to. I didn't say they had anything to do with each other. I said there's a double standard.
No, but here's my point. They don't have anything to do with each other in terms of how they've been covered by the media, because the fact of the matter is the NSA violations actually have gotten a lot of coverage by the media, and I think the president has said a lot about them.
Who's been held accountable? Who's been held accountable, and when has the president gone on record defending and answering questions for 2 hours?
It's a much more complicated situation because the president doesn't think he did anything wrong. Now, I think he did, but if he doesn't think he did anything wrong, then why is he going to fire anybody? Hold on, I want to finish.
He never thinks he does anything wrong.
Fast and Furious, hold on. Fast and Furious, no, there's nothing that suggests that Barack Obama knew about it. Like even the people, even the most fanatical Fast and Furious person.
But this is the point. His staff is responsible, and they weren't held accountable.
But you're talking about Obama, Sean, and he didn't know. So you throw these things out like Fast and Furious and Obama. And it's
we're
like,
talking about Christie's
staff,
and we're talking about Obama's staff. In the case of Fast and Furious, people are dead. In the case of Benghazi, people are dead.
There is not a shred of evidence that Eric Holder directed them to do that.
It was their program, Kirsten.
None. No, but the program was not illegal. This is what I mean. You keep conflating these things.
No,
the program was
it
not
may not have been illegal, but here's the problem.
There was incompetence. There was incompetence,
Who
and it
gives
was done at a lower
guns
level.
To drug dealers, drug runners, murderers, and kidnappers?
I know what happened. I don't need you to tell me the case. I know exactly what happened, and I know that there is absolutely nothing that shows that Eric Holder directed them to do that.
Well, what's worse, David, the bridge incident or giving guns to murderers and kidnappers and drug dealers?
By accident.
Holder,
no, on purpose, actually.
They did not mean to lose the guns, Sean.
All right, sorry, David.
That is a tactic that they used, that the Bush administration used,
David.
the FBI uses, and they did not mean to lose the guns.
David.
I'll send you a memo, Kirsten. Obama,
I know
Holder
the case
was
backwards and forwards.
Holder was directly involved. He lied twice to Congress. Obama invoked executive privilege to keep us from finding out. In Fast and Furious, Obama was directly responsible for sending Susan Rice out there to lie about the videotape. Bald-faced lie, which would keep us from finding out what's actually going on. So, Kirsten, they are comparable. And these two cases alone, not to mention the IRS, by which the administrative agency was doing Obama's bidding. And now the IRS is doubling down, targeting conservative groups.
How
much
are they
less
doing the bidding
is it chastened.
of Obama? There's nothing that shows that Obama was connected to the IRS.
Is Obama ever accountable for people? The mainstream media is demanding that Christie maybe even be fired. But he's fired 4 people and taken action. Obama never apologizes. Christie apologized.
But, David, you can't seriously be comparing aides that directly report to Christie or his childhood friend who worked for him, comparing them to
Holder and Obama are Siamese twins.
I mean, he doesn't even know these people.
Are you saying Holder and Obama don't have a direct relationship between each other?
I'm talking about you're jumping from topic to topic. You're just talking about the IRS.
The topic is the double standard.
Hang on. Let me focus this. It's aides of Christie's and their appointments of Obama on this whole series of scandals. David, that's the difference. That's the same thing with a different result and a different action.
The commonality of the theme, Kirsten, is the double standard that the media and Democrats and Republicans apply, respectively, to analyzing the situation. I just said I'm a strong conservative.
Double standard.
I just said that I can't defend Christie.
One at a time, David.
Well, there has been a deliberate ignoring of all evidence and a failure of scrutiny by the media. In fact, Brent Bozell's outfit, Media Research Center, said that there's 48, in the first 48 hours of this Christie scandal, there's more coverage than in 6 months of Obama's IRS scandal. I mean, if that isn't apples to apples, I don't know what it is.
All right, we got to run, but thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's frustrating.
Always fun.
All right, guys, and coming up next tonight.